Is Zora USDT, the altcoin, ready for a major comeback? Now, based on what I'm seeing here on the charts, I think it has a good chance of making a comeback here. And let me point out to you guys why. So, if you guys been following my channel, you guys should know that the most common pattern is probably the falling wedge pattern. And why is that pattern so significant? It's because it's very simple, it is very effective, and it's probably the most common. Okay. So what does the falling wedge pattern tell you? It tells you that after an extensive downtrend on a time frame, that the price action has a higher chance of breaking to the upside. If you guys see my other videos on these coins, you guys could probably see that a lot more of these falling wedge patterns have been breaking to the upside. Of course, there's downside risk because this is all a probability game, and nothing in this market or anything in life, except for a few things, is 100%, right? And the downside risk, of course, is that these falling wedges break down as well, and I've seen that happen. However, this one is still running and is still intact, and what that tells me is that it's going to have a higher chance of breaking to the upside. This is the daily time frame for Zora, and I also want to mention that since my last update on Zora, I did mention a smaller falling wedge pattern that has been invalidated because it has broken out and has somewhat, and it has gone part of the way to its price target before dumping again. That is also something to be mindful of. Okay, now let's take a look into Zora here. So Zora is running within almost the midsection of this falling wedge pattern. It has hit the resistance at about the daily 21 SMA at about 7.5 cents. Moving averages are going to be very important to be paying attention to because they're going to be resistance above when they're above the price action, and they're going to be support when they're below the price action. In this case, it played out almost exactly, as resistance. It hit that daily 21 SMA, the blue line here, before getting a pullback. Okay. Now, if Zora is actually able to get above that, the daily 50 SMA is currently about 8.4 cents. That's going to be the next big resistance there. Okay. Of course, it needs to get over that in order to, to actually break out of this pattern here as well, from what it looks like now. Now, falling wedge right here, price target, let's just say if it breaks out by this point, for example, price target would be about just short of 15 cents price target, which is basically almost back to its previous all-time highs there to retest it. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less. Very much depends on Bitcoin. Okay, if Bitcoin continues pumping or has more room to go, that's very good for the altcoins. However, if Bitcoin starts dumping, then it's going to be very bad for your altcoins, and these setups are not going to be worth much. Okay, so some things to be paying attention to, and of course, like I said, just because you break out does not mean that you're going to 100% get to its price target. Okay. Now, I am long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here. So my opinion on this market is bullish. But like the entirety of this video, these are just my opinions and not financial advice. You got to do your own due diligence and form your own opinions. I did do a more detailed video on Bitcoin earlier today. I will link you guys at the end of this video because I would never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of Bitcoin because that could very much wreck your trades. So this basically does it for Zora for this video. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of Zora, right? Or any other coins in this market. I also want to point out, before I forget, I just want to show you guys a little bit more clarity here. This is the 6-hour time frame, okay? I pointed out this 8.4 cent resistance. You're going to have quite a bit of resistance at that 8.4 cent resistance. Now, this could form some type of a cup and handle pattern because it's still early to say, but I am seeing rounded bottoms here on the 6 hour time frame, and rounded bottoms usually turn into cup and handles. And if that does form, that is a bullish pattern within this bullish pattern, within this bigger falling wedge pattern. So that's something to be kind of watching out for as well. This basically wraps it up, and I'll see you on the next one.